Easily my favorite episode of the Seven Deadly Sins, and probably one of the best episodes, not only of what we have so far, but just in general, some of the strongest content, because like I told you guys about that Bond fucking just insanity and the greatness that this character just gives off, and the backstory that he has, how fucking tragic it was. I ain't gonna lie, this episode had me, my eyes were watering, because goddamn, the tragedy of what happened in his past that shaped the character he is today. Ugh. So this episode had a variety of different things going on. For starters, you have Guida or Gira. I personally rather call her Gira simply because it's easier to say than Guida or Gita, whatever the hell. So I'm going to call her Gira for all intents and purposes. You know who I'm referring to. Episode starts off with her just fucking choking little kids and shit. So that definitely shows that this bitch ain't nothing to fuck with. And to be honest with you, I love me some Gira. She's one of my favorite of the Holy Knights. So seeing her, I was already like, holy shit. And you just see how cruel she is. So it's like, this bitch needs to be taught a lesson though. Like, you can't just go around choking kids. Who the fuck do you think you are? But one thing I definitely got to say with this episode, the only complaint I really have with this episode, to be honest, is that Gira is really, really OP at this point. And if you think about it, this is one of the Holy Knights, right? If all three of these people, we got Bond, we got Diane, and we got Meliodas, they're getting creamed. They're getting pretty much their asses handed to them by Gira. And if Gira can do something like this, then what chance do they have against some of the other Holy Knights? So definitely, I think it's a little too early on for them to be getting owned by, in particular, one of the Holy Knights. But that's really the only complaint I have, because to be honest with you, this just had so many things going on. You had the internal struggles of King wanting to kill Bond and thinking about his sister and thinking that he's doing the right thing for her, only to find out that his sister really cared for Bond and having no idea of the backstory of what truly happened in the past. And to be honest with you, I really wish that this past with Bond was a full-on OVA or even a full-on episode just showcasing what happened, because it's just such rich material. The director, oh my gosh, some of them scenes were absolute gorgeous and just done very well. The 360 camera angle when you're seeing him and Elaine, it was like, oh my gosh. And we even got a little bit of knowledge. First of all, there's these demons, and seemingly you can't kill them with one hit taking out their heart. There's more to them than that. So seeing a little bit of that was just holy fucking shit. But then you got the tragedy behind it of Elaine and him getting fucking split, and the way that Bond got split in half reminded me of another character. In case you haven't seen the entirety of the series, it's from A Comet Got Killed, but I won't say which character. It definitely reminded me of that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, the way they did this episode, it was just beautifully done. In all honesty, the tragedy of what happened, the sadness, at the same time giving that kiss, passing from Elaine to give him the immortal water, I was just like, this was perfect. This was sad as fuck. It showed a lot of the depth of Bond and who he truly is. People think he's just a dick. Yeah, he does have an asshole personality, but there's far more to him than meets the eye. And that's what makes Bond a great character. And that's why he's my favorite, and in my opinion, the best character of the Seven Deadly Sins. And my eyes were watery as fuck when that scene happened of him holding her there and she basically died. I was like, oh my gosh, do you get it now? Do you see the greatness of Bond and what he's been through? And then you got a little bit of development with King as well, with Elaine explaining to him, Bond's not a bad person. I want you to help Bond. So you could definitely see that there's some conflicting emotions in there, because he doesn't know the full story. So in his eyes, he's just thinking that Bond was the murderer of his sister, but finding out that his sister actually cared for him, basically took him out of that petrified state, gave him even a kiss, and he's probably there like conflicted as hell. So you have him trying to develop, because at the end of the episode, he does go to help. So it's like, I'm gonna follow my sister's wishes, but I'm still very confused as to what the fuck's going on. And we got a little bit more of the abilities of the Sins as well. For starters, Meliodas full counter, you get to get a little bit of that. You also get to see Bond snatch. So there was a couple different techniques we got to see in this episode as well, showcasing these abilities. And again, to be honest with you, I feel Gira shouldn't be wiping them out. I think that is a little too soon. And I felt that same way in the manga. I feel like they're getting owned so quickly, and don't get me wrong, I don't want them to just own every villain that comes by, because that would be like, you know, we don't want no friendship. But I definitely think that, holy fuck, 3 of them getting their asses kicked by one Holy Knight, ugh. And then King coming to help out at the end definitely shows that while he's still having that internal conflict, whether he should do it, what's going on, ultimately he does know the right thing to do, and that's help out his friends. So we got a little bit of development right there with King. And in all honesty, this episode, great episode. I only had those small little nitpicks, but to be honest with you, it was one of the best episodes, and I absolutely loved it. Just the epicness of King at the end as well. Yo, Bond, like, you just stab through him to hit fucking Gira, and then you're like, yo, Bond, seriously, bro? But all jokes aside, just great stuff with this episode. I was like, holy shit, I did not expect to get that affected. I mean, I was pretty affected by it in the manga, but the way they did it, spreading it out, again, I still feel it would have been even more impactful, like a full-on episode describing what Bond's been through. Ultimately, the way they're doing it is fine as well, and the director just he did magic with this. Honestly, the way the scenes were shot, the way the scenes were done, looked gorgeous. And hit me with them feels. My feels are broken, bruh. 9.5 out of 10 for this bad boy. Great stuff. Like, this is why, if you're not hooked to the 7 Deadly Sins and you're not a believer right now of Bond's epicness, King being awesome, all these characters just being some awesome shit, then you don't know what you're missing. And I mean, come on, like, you have no heart if you didn't feel this episode. I'm just saying. But let me know what you thought of the episode. What did you think about Bond's backstory? Do you kind of understand the character now after this one? I definitely feel as though the tragedy of that, not only was it just great storytelling, ultimately it helped to shape out the character and give you a clear understanding of who he truly is. And likewise with King, it gets a clear understanding for him as to what he should be doing. And do you feel as though it's maybe a bit too early for Guila to be owning all 3 of these dudes when there's still other Holy Knights out there? And what do you think about Guila in general? To me, I love Guila. I think she's a bit OP right now, but I absolutely love her, and she's epic as fuck, and she don't care. She's merciless, but she does need an ass whipping to learn. You don't put your hands on the little ones, bitch. Hey, overall thoughts of the episode. Great stuff, but that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And they seriously need to hurry up with these subs. Stop making me wait days. Just saying.